So I've been meaning to do this for quite a while now, so I'm finally getting around to doing this. So, for the most part, the bosses in Final Fantasy VII, they're not very difficult. They're not very difficult at all. There's a couple bosses that are a massive pain in the butt, but overall, they're not really that hard. However, for those of you who are struggling with some of the bosses, hopefully this video will help address what to do against said bosses. I'll try to go over what the bosses do, the setup you should have for said bosses, and what you can do to make them look like a complete joke. So with that said, how about we jump right on in? So, kick things off, we're going to be starting with the very first boss, the Guard Scorpion. Now, there's not much in the way of setup that you can do. You're going to be having all of this. You can't access items. You have limited items. If you want to grind for some potions, you can fight some enemies right before this. But overall, it's the first boss. Guard Scorpion has 800 HP. Guard Scorpion's very first action will be to use Certain Scope on either Barret or Cloud. And then on its second turn, he will use either Rifle or Scorpion Hail. So here's the Certain Scope. Meaning, he will target Barret with the next attack. Which will either be Rifle or Scorpion Hail. After this, you will do Certain Scope again. You can use your limit breaks, you can use Bolt. Bolt is the best way of doing damage for Cloud. Limit's also very good. So, now, Barret's main target here again is either going to be Rifle or Scorpion Hail. Now, after it uses the next attack, it is going to raise its hail. At which point, you do not want to attack it. Otherwise, your entire party is going to get hit by Hail Laser, which does roughly 90 to 100 damage, which is quite a bit of damage. Now, if you pay attention to Cloud's dialogue here, you'll say, Barret, be careful, attack while it's held stuff, it's going to counter-attack with its laser. It takes reduced damage as well. So here's Hail Laser. Somehow it missed Barret. That's amazing. All you gotta do is not attack. This is where you can, heal. Take time to heal. If you want to build up limits, that's a fast way of building up limits. Again, reminder, Guard Scorpion only has 800 HP, so it will go down very, very quickly. Now, I did demonstrate what it did, so it's back to its usual pattern. Certain Scope, Rifle or Scorpion Hail, again Certain Scope again, Rifle, Scorpion Hail, and then it will raise its hail. So that Scorpion Hail, it does a decent amount of damage. There's not much strategy to this fight, as you can see. This first boss of the game, just don't attack it when it heals up with everyone. Wait a little bit and make sure that, you know, you're not accidentally attacking it. So you'll get 100 EXP, 10 AP, and the Assault Gun. And with that, we will move on to our next boss. So, our next boss is going to be Airbuster, the number 5 reactor. If you want to end this fight quickly, coming in here with Cloud and Barret with full limit breaks, have Barret use his first, and have Cloud use his afterwards. That will almost finish the boss off right away. He only has 1200 HP. If you don't have full limit breaks, I would just suggest having Lightning on characters. I don't know why you don't have Lightning. Lightning is the boss's weakness. Do not use fire against the boss. The boss is, resistant fire. Also, if you want additional materia slots, be certain to buy 3 iron bangles at Sector 7. I didn't do it here because you're gonna get better armor in a little bit anyways, but If you want everyone to have at least an additional materia slot, make sure to buy more iron bangles. Now, this is what the items look like. Nothing very special here. So we're gonna go ahead and start the fight. So Airbuster is the only boss of the game that you can pincer at. Barret and Tifa are on the left side, Cloud's on the right side. Airbuster will always start by facing Cloud. And he will counterattack anyone behind him by turning around and ramming into them. If he is unable to turn, he will use rear gun instead. He will also use Big Bomber, which does about 100 damage. He will only get to use 4 of those before he runs out of ammo. And then he will switch to Energy Bomb, which does less damage. Other than that, he's not that bad, so here's how fast the fight can go. There's 600 HP right there. $600 HP there. And just like that, Airbuster's done. If you come in with a level 9 or 10 Cloud and Barret, and they have a full limit gauge, you can just end the fight immediately. It is that simple. Now, I'm going to show you what happens if you don't have... Well, I can't really show you what happens if you don't have limits. Normally you would just use Bolt to deal with him. He's not that hard. Just throw bolts, or just act him from behind. Do damage that way. Or alternatively, break a whole bunch of grenades and just chuck grenades at his face. Very easy boss, very easy. Even more hilariously easy if you have Barret and Cloud with a limit break. On to the next one. And so we're here in the sewers after we dealt with Dawn Corneo. So we're gonna have Cloud, Tifa, and Eric. So, spoiler, please buy the metal knuckle for Tifa. I did not buy it for her, I should have bought it. And if you have any mithril armlets or heightened ankles, give them to Tifa as well. So this is the Materia logout. In all honesty, this is not a very good Materia logout. If you want to do extra damage to Raps, I would recommend having fire on everyone, because Raps is weak to fire. Or Apps, sorry, Apps. Apps has 1800 HP, which is a decent amount of HP. However, I'm going to show you just how much damage fire does in comparison to what I would say is the best method of dealing with bosses in Midgard. So, Cloud's going to be using his fire. Oh, and before I forget, Apps has 4 different apps. He has 2 different versions of Sewer Tsunami. One that comes from behind him and does double damage to him and normal to you, to your party. And another version where it comes from behind your party to do double damage and normal apps. Why do I want to say Raps? He will also use a regular physical and Lick, which does physical damage and sadness. Don't worry about curing sadness. That is a very good status for you in terms of defense. It reduces all damage by 33%. So, here's a fire spell. We're going to be doing a fire spell. It does about 158. This is a grenade. Grenades are very, very strong items. They also save you MP. And of course, limits are the way to go. So, I'm just gonna chuck grenade. That's all you need to do. You don't even really have to worry about healing too much in this fight here. In all honesty. Use whatever limits you have. Just keep throwing grenades. and apps will go down. It'll take about 9, 8 grenades, give or take. On top of the sewer tsunami, it might be less, because he's gonna off himself with a, yeah, like that. So, apps is not a very difficult boss. If you're doing a no item run, you're gonna want to use the fire materia. If you're doing a no materia run, use grenades. If you're doing a no materia, no item run, well, I mean, all you have are regular apps, so best of luck. 204 EXP, 22 AP, 153 gil, and a Phoenix down. See, nothing difficult so far, right? And we're about to get to the big part of Midgar, which is Casimra HQ. Some people might have difficulty here, but it's still not that hard. So let's take a look at our next boss. Our next boss, before we get to Casimra HQ, is going to be with Reno, who is at the Sector 7 plane. So, this is Kapari right now. I hit the wrong button. If you want to reduce damage, you're going to put Tranquilizer on everyone. And for this fight, I recommend just stay in the back row to reduce damage. This is the setup. Again, make sure that Tifa has the metal knuckles. If you've got any mithril armlets or heightened bangle, equip it to both of them. And in terms of materia, there's not much in the way of materia. Warning, do not use lightning on Reno, because Reno has lightning damage. He only has 1,000 HP, so Reno will more than likely start the fight by putting someone in a pyramid. The idea is you attack the pyramid to break it, because if all characters are in the pyramid, or if any characters in the pyramid and anyone else is dead, that's a game over. So make sure to break pyramids immediately. He will then either use a regular physical, or electromag rod, which does lightning damage and paralysis, can paralyze. And then he will use pyramid on this every 4 turns. So, what's the best way of dealing with Reno? If you already know how we handled apps, we're gonna do the same thing to Reno. So, we're just gonna throw grenades at his face. After I, punch him in the face. Oh! Sorry. I did not mean to do that to you, Barrett. So, about 3 rounds of thrown grenades with all 3 characters will defeat Reno. And as you can see, it does like no damage when you're in the back row and when you have Sadness on. So this is a full second round. He's gonna do pyramid again, which you can break the pyramid, or you can just keep sucking grenades. He will go down real quick. He's a weenie. And there we go. Grenades just do way more damage than your regular attacks and most spells. So you're gonna see grenade hits a lot early on. 209 EXP, 22 AP, 5 skill, and an Ether. Now we head to Casimra HQ. On to the next one. Onwards to Casimra HQ. We are right outside the Passable H05112 fight. This is Kapari. Again, if you want to seize this, put everyone in the back row and throw Tranquilizer on everyone. Now, Redbird Pink's gonna replace either Tifa or Barrett. It doesn't matter who you replace. You can throw a Tranquilizer on Red if you want to give him Sadness. For Materia, it doesn't really matter for Materia. We're not going to be using magic in this fight, as you can imagine. Before you come into this fight, make sure you fight on this floor in particular, and steal the carpet bangle from the Moth Slasher. At least 3, so that 3 of your characters can have the carpet bangle. And fight these Soldier Bird so you can get the hard eggs. You will not see this weapon until Gongaga, which is about halfway through Disc 1, so this is a very, very big upgrade for Cloud. And again, Tifa should have the metal knuckles. Now, I got the Star Pendant in Simra HQ. You get this by trading in one of the coupons. Normally, I would never trade in a coupon, because, you know, I'm OCD and I like having old items. But, for the sake of this video, I am going to be using the Star Pendant. You want to equip this on someone, either Cloud or whoever you're going to break into the fight. This will help against the boss. Now, against the boss, he absorbs poison and halves lightning. So, don't use poison or lightning against the main boss. He will come with 3 sample H0512 ops. They have 300 HP each. They use Fire, Ice, and Bolt, and Rolling Attack. When you defeat them, the main boss will use Reanimagic and revive them at full HP. You can only do that 3 or 4 times before he runs out of MP. Otherwise, the main boss will use a regular physical attack, or try to poison the entire party with Saggy Breath. So let's go ahead and go fight the boss. Now, you could go and defeat these samples and get the rewards from them. They do give EXP, AP, and items and stuff. Or you could just gun down the main boss and finish the fight immediately. Which is what we're going to do. We're not going to mess around with the samples. There's no reason to. The samples are just, you know, there. So we're going to send away Tifa. Because, you know, I like Barret more than Tifa. Alright, so go away Tifa. And here's our boss. The samples are immune to Earth, but you don't have Earth at this point. So we're going to throw grenades. We're just going to grenade. So there's the eyes. So even from the back row, Cross Slash is going to do a lot of damage. I got lucky with a crit there. I got very lucky with a crit there. What the heck? The main boss has 1,000 HP, so I just did half of his HP in one limit. And here we go. I got very lucky with that crit on the limit. So, from the back row, he's considered in the back row anyway, so it doesn't even matter if you're in the back row or not. That was about 250 damage with the hard eggs. So, if you have Cross Slash, you can just throw it right on the boss, and just choke out about a quarter, half his HP. I got lucky, got half his HP. 300 EXP, 3 AP, 250 gil, and a talisman. If you defeat the small fries without him reviving them, it will each give you a tranquilizer as well. So, that was a very, very easy boss. How about we get to a boss that's a little bit more difficult, shall we? For most people, anyways. Alright, so, we break out the prison, we find out that the president's dead, and we're at escape from the Simmer HQ. So you got a party of Aerith, Barret, and Repartine. So what we're going to do, the usual strat, if you've got enough tranquilizer, put it on everyone, we're in the back row. Hopefully you have enough grenades, or, alternatively, if you have a lot of magic materia, you can just, throw a bunch of, magic materia on people, and it will give them good enough magic to, hit hard with lightning. Your main goal is to have the lightning materia. Both bosses here are weak to lightning. The first boss has 1600 HP, the second has 1200. They're both weak to lightning. So, Hunter Gunner and Heli Gunner cannot be hacked physically, except by Baron. And limit breaks, of course. Hunter Gunner has 3 different phases. Phase 1, he will use, what's it called? Ox Artillery. Phase 2, he will use Higgin Artillery, or, is it Higgin Artillery? It uses, Ox Artillery and Higgin Artillery. When it gets below 1060 HP, it'll go phase 2, and he'll use main artillery, which hits the higher party, and then phase 3 is 533 or less HP, where it will charge up and use wave artillery. It only uses those acts. When you defeat it, you will fight a Hunter or a Heli Gunner, who will start the fight immediately with AB Cannon, which inflicts sleep with one character. It can also use Seed Cannon, which does poison, and Firing Line, which does poison and sleep to the higher party. After you get below 250 HP, it will go to phase 2 where it will spin and get higher defense and max defense. It will only use spinning Fire Flow and Flying Drill, which are single target physicals. They're stronger, but they do not inflict status. So, because he has high max defense, we are going to bypass that outright. So, let's jump into this fight. Also, if you took the time to steal it from Eligor in the train graveyard, make sure Aerith has the striking staff. That's gonna be her best weapon for a while. Alright, so let's go ahead and fight the boss. So I'm gonna show how much Bolt does with everyone. So here's what Bolt looks like. About 140. So as you can see, Bolt doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. I mean, it does about 150, which isn't bad. But, you know, there's grenades. Grenades are just better. They do 150 without any real variance. Here's the main artillery, which hits everyone. But because we're in the back row and we have Sagnus, we take half damage on top of 33% less damage from physicals. If you have the star pendant from Clod, be sure to equip it to someone here. That way, you can be immune to poison for Heli Gunner. And you should be able to beat him before he uses wave artillery. Just like that. So again, Heli Gunner will come in and will immediately do AV Cannon. You can't really stop that, even with limits, I think. So this has a high chance of inflicting sleep, like that. He has 1200 HP, so it'll take about, I say, 9 to 8 grenades, give or take. So that's about 150. About 6 to 7 grenades, actually. Ow. About 7 grenades, I'll take. I'll guess. And as you can see, he's below 250 HP. So he's gonna go into phase 2. There's spinning bite or flying drill. Does quite a bit of damage. But we have grenades. And as you can see, the defense kicks in right there. It goes from 150 to 120. And now we immediately go to the next boss, which is Rufus. So let's equip Clod with everything that he needs. Here, you can have that. And you're going to get Restore, Lightning, Poison, Ice, Fire. It doesn't really matter what you get. I'm gonna put Elemental Lightning on because Dark Nation does like to use lightning attacks. And we're gonna put on Tranquilizer. So, Rufus comes with Dark Nation. Dark Nation is basically a buffer. He will cast Barrier and M Barrier on, Barrier and M Barrier on Rufus. He will use a regular attack and he will use Bolt on you. If you defeat Rufus before defeating Dark Nation, you will not get anything it gives you. So you won't get any EXP, AP, Gil, or item. He does drop Guard Sword, so he's more beaten. He only has 140 HP. Rufus, on the other hand, has 500 HP. He will either laugh at you, waste gonna turn, or use Shotgun, which does a decent amount of damage. You can poison Rufus. Rufus is very easy to poison. We're gonna immediately get rid of the Hojo. If you have a limit break, it won't instantly get rid of Dark Nation. So there's Shotgun. So this is a regular attack. That would be about 100 damage. Here's Bio. Bio, you don't see get used very much. But 135, and he's poisoned. Very, very good. We like it when he's poisoned. So, he only has 500 HP, so 3 bios will probably finish him off. Just like that. And he flies away. Hanging on to the helicopter with one hand. That's a very strong dude. 310 EXP, 42 AP, 650 gil. Protect Vest and Guard Sword. And now, we have to do a mini-game before we fight the next boss. So, here at the setup screen for the Z-Fight, you can set up your party however you want. I'm going to be going with Cloud, Barret, and Tifa. And I would recommend putting everyone in the front row, because you are going to get back attack, meaning your rows are going to be reversed. So this will put you in the back row, meaning you will take far less damage this way. In addition, if you got the elemental materia from Sivra HQ, which is the reward for this password of first try from Mayor Domino, equip elemental with fire in someone's armor, because the boss does like to use a lot of fire attack. He uses Twin Burner and Rolling Fire. Twin Burner hits one person really hard. Rolling Fire hits everyone. You will also run over everyone and use an attack or arm attack. They're both physical attacks. The boss halves fire damage, so don't use fire, but he is weak to lightning, so lightning might actually be better than grenades for this particular fight. If you want to do more damage, you can put elemental and lightning on a weapon, but honestly, you're probably going to be using bolt a lot. The boss has 2600 HP. So again, Arc Edge for Cloud, Metal Knuckles for Tifa, Assault Gun for Barret, Striking Staff for Aerith. They should all have card for Bangles. The accessories don't really matter here. Alright, with that said, I will see you when we get to Motorball. If you're ever having trouble with the G-Bike section, by the way, if you get 3 of these red motorcycle guys, you just keep swinging, they will never go near the truck, and they should never go near you. Just keep in mind, this is going to be very tiring on your thumb. Like, very, very tiring. But You can use the strat, the minigame, at the gold saucer. Same exact strat, it works the same way. And here we are at the motorball fight. So since we're the back row, even though it will do double damage, it won't do that much damage. As long as you get 8 much damage in the minigame. You can't be reduced 1 HP from the minigame. So I'm gonna show you the, here's a grenade. So that's a grenade, and this is bolt for comparison. So here's a grenade, about 140. Here's a bolt. So bolt does almost double the amount of damage that grenade does. Even from Barrett. Even from Barrett, it's just better. Reminder, he has 2600 HP, so about 4 turns of bolt, and you should win. Don't even worry about healing unless you absolutely need it. The more magic materia you stick on people, the higher their magic will be, so just stick a bunch of magic materia on people. And you're gonna do a lot of damage. So here's Wind Burner. Okay, it's AoE. Never mind, I thought that was single target, my bad. But as you can see, back row plus Sadness, that's gonna be your strat for a lot of the game. Again, Final Fantasy VII is a very, very easy Final Fantasy. Like, it's hilariously easy compared to like 99% of other FF games. There's only a couple bosses outside of the optional bosses that are a trouble. And there you go! That's Motorball in less than 2 minutes. 440 EXP, 45 AP, 350 gil, and a star pendant. And that is Midgar. Now, we're gonna head all the way from Midgar to Junin. And we're gonna cheese the crap out of this boss. I'm gonna show you the cheese method. And I'm gonna show you the way of fighting the boss normally. So, let's do that, shall we? And here we are at Junin. Hooray! So, I'm gonna show you the way that you're normally supposed to fight this boss on top of the cheese method. So the cheese method is very, very cheesy. The boss has 2500 HP. Don't bother with Earth on it because it's blind. He has 3 forms. The first form will only use a regular attack, hail attack, and second form will act in Moonstrike, and third form will act in Big Wave. Now, these forms can also use something called a waterfall, which will put a character into a water polo. Unlike with Reno's pyramid, you must use magic to defeat them, and while the character is in the water polo, their HP will drastically, it will fall very, very quickly. It's like a poison, but hyper poison. So you want to use something like Maximum Magic or Summons to get rid of it real quick, or just use a single target, or single target magic spell will deal with it. It will cycle through the 3 forms depending on how much it gets hit, and when it dies, it will use Big Wave. He is weak to wind. Spoilers, he is weak to wind. So if you want to do wind damage, put Elemental and Choco-Mog on your weapon. So, as you can see, I got Yuffie. You can get Yuffie by finding her in the forest outside of Junin. It's in low chance, but it's well worth it. So, this is the setup. Star Pendant doesn't really matter. You can get the Boomerang for Yuffie by stealing from Formula. It's the flying blue creature that hits like a truck. Atomic Scissors you can get by stealing from the Custom Sweeper right outside the Midgard of the Dark area. You can also get Maximum Magic from the Custom Sweeper. So, enemy skills. By this point, you should have Elfor Suicide from the Moo, Flamethrower from the Arc Dragon, and Maximum Magic from the Custom Sweeper. You can also get Chocolate Buckle, but that's kind of pointless. You'll also want to pick up the long-range materia from the Mithril Mines. I highly suggest giving it a Cloud, because you cannot hack this boss with regular physicals otherwise. And the rest of the materia really doesn't matter that much. It really doesn't matter that much. So, I am going to, switch some materias around. I'm gonna get the Chocolate Mog from her and put it on Cloud. Alright, with that said, everyone suffer sadness? Let's go see how this boss is normally. And then I will show you Xyz's method. Well, I can also show you Xyz's method here. So, Xyz's method is simply cast Bio on the boss. The boss is not immune to poison. And then you sit there, and you don't attack the boss ever again. Bio does a good amount of damage too, so... Ow. Barret cannot hack. This is just so bad all. Lots of damage from Cloud. That's a lot of damage if you have the Horror Gags, and if you put Elemental Chocolate on the weapon. I am not getting poison. So yeah, you cannot act with physicals that way. And now Barret's in a bubble, which is very bad. So this is what happens when you're in a bubble. If everyone's in a bubble, it's game over. I am not getting that, wow. That drains really fast. That drains exceptionally fast. I'm not getting the poison, which is kinda nuts. So yeah, you can poison the boss. And then, after you poison the boss, you just sit there and the boss can do a whole lot of nothing. So here's Big Wave. It does a small amount of damage because of our setup. And that's how much a regular physical does without Elemental Wind. And here we go! Even without the Xyz method, you can beat the boss pretty easily. If you're doing like a special challenge, if you want to avoid the water polo, just throw poison on it early on in the fight and just guard. And it will go down very easily. 550 EXP, 52 AP, 1,000 gil, and the power wrist. And with that, we're ready to move on to the next boss. And here we are on the cargo ship, using the same party. I got the Force Stealer in this playthrough. You get this from getting over 100 points in the Rufus send-off. Honestly, I would recommend getting at least 80, 90 points to get HP plus materia instead. You won't be using the hard eggs otherwise. This is the Mithril Saber that you could buy earlier in the game. Hard eggs is still good. Force Stealer does give you double AP, but you can buy this very, very soon. I will also bring some headbands before you come here to try to prevent sleep if you're going to try to get the Sinrabeas. Sinrabea is a pretty good armor, better than the card with Mangle. Also gives you another materia slot. You can also get the Wing Slash for Yuffie in this area, which is great for damage, and well, it's the same power as Boomerang, but it gives you double AP. So, materia setup. Pretty much the same as Bottomswell. Nothing really different here. I got Revive from, Junin. Everything else is pretty much identical. So we don't need the headband for this fight. We're gonna put all the power at risk. And everyone's back row with sadness, so... The thing about this fight, don't bother using poison on the boss, because it's immune to poison. 4,000 HP. Jenova BIRTH will either use Stop, which it will hurt one character to use Stop, and if it uses Stop, she will skip her next 3 turns. She will also use Gas, which targets one character and does poison, I believe. Laser, which hits one character for a decent amount of damage, but she can use it up to 1 to 3 times at the same turn. W Laser, which hits like a truck, and she will probably hit each of your character with it. Or Hail Laser, which is the same as Guard Scorpion, and she can do it twice in a row. So, it's very, very dangerous. You don't want to mess with her too long. You can't get a back attack on her for some reason. I don't know why. Anything else I can think of? She is vulnerable to paralysis, so if you have Cross Slash and Seal Evil, that does work on Jenova BIRTH. Ow. Ow. Right, Barrett has a short-range weapon. Good damage. So that's 99 damage. Like, the damage isn't superb or anything. It's just a little scary if we didn't have, you know, all the stuff on. This can inflict stop, I believe. I don't know. I don't remember if Jenova BIRTH is immune to stop or not. She is going to hurt. That's what she's going to do. So we can't just do the grenade strap for those who don't do enough damage. So this is a spell, 103 damage. Not very much damage. Grenades are still very good in terms of power. So if you have any grenades that you got left over, or you bought any grenades, you can just chuck them at her. Oh no! And now you should be skipping your next 3 or 4 turns. I mean, she normally would on wait mode. But we're on active mode, so she might only skip like 2 turns at best. So there's her 2 turns. Yeah, about 2 turns. Ow. Ow. Again, 4,000 HP. So you got a ways to go in this fight. A ways to go. Ow. Wow, I actually missed Barrett. So you're probably gonna have to heal at some point during the fight. No ifs, ands, or buts. Go ahead and heal. Ouch. Ouch. Not really much else to say in this fight. I mean, you can bring Tifa, you can bring whoever you want. It's not really gonna change the way you handle this fight. Ow. And there we go. Jenova BIRTH down. Grenades really are good if you're just late in. You can also use Maxer Magic or Flamethrower. I opted to just save MP. 680 EXP, 64 AP, 800 gil, and a white cape. And that is the Eastern Continent down. So our next boss is going to be a little bit of a ways away. We need to get to the Corral prison. So I will see you guys there. And here we are outside the fight with Dyne. So what you want to do is make sure that Barrett is equipped. Only Barrett. You don't need to worry about anyone else. So Barrett has the double machine gun, which you get on Mount Corral. You want to put this on him. Give him a silver beta if you stole it. If you didn't steal it, you can put on the platinum bangle or the carbon bangle, whichever one you want. Honestly, carbon's better in terms of defense, and whatever accessory you want. In terms of equipment or materia, at least have a restore, and if you want to seize this, there's one of two ways to seize it. One is with poison. Another is going to be with an item called the right arm. I will show both of these methods, but I'm going to show you the main fight. Just like with Bottomswell, if you poison Dyne and just sit there, he will never ever change, he will never act additional attacks. He will start with Needle Gun, and when he gets to about a third of his HP, he'll add, S-Mine after a Needle Gun. And then at about 2/3 HP, he'll do Needle Gun, S-Mine, into Molotov Cocktail. And when he dies, there's a good chance he'll use Molotov Cocktail. If he dies with poison or the right arm, he will never use Molotov Cocktail, I think. So, I'm gonna show you what it looks like when we fight Dyne normally. And then I will show you how silly he is with the right arm. So, our first goal is, let's go ahead and throw bio on him. Hopefully, we get poisonous stick. We did not. So, sadness is very good here to keep damage reduced. And now he's poisoned. With the double machine gun, you can do enough damage, more than, about as much as, Bio does. So now he's gonna start doing, S-Mine. So S-Mine followed by Needle Gun, I believe. Or is he just gonna use S-Mine? Okay, there we go. It's Needle Gun into S-Mine. Always make sure that, your HP is high, so that you don't die from Molotov Cocktail. There's Molotov Cocktail now, so he'll be at that after a S-Mine, I believe. Since we're on active, the poison hits are gonna be destroying, Oh, I guess he replaces S-Mine with Molotov Cocktail. Okay. And there we go. Wow, he didn't do Molotov Cocktail. So poison does help a lot. Such an EXP, 55 AP, 707 skill, and a silver armor. Now let me show you what happens when you have a right arm. So if you want to get a right arm, you can steal it from a bomb off the bridge to North Corral. So here's the power of right arm. You instantly win. It's instant defeat on Dyne. He only has 1200 HP, so it's kind of silly that you can steal an item that just outright destroys Dyne. And there you go. That's the cheese method. Steal at least one right arm from a bomb on the bridge in North Corral. And you basically win this fight. In fact, right arm is your new grenade. If you take the time to steal a bunch of right arms, you can trivialize a lot of upcoming bosses. I didn't steal very many right arms, so we're not going to be using that method for the bosses. So we just defeat a Dyne, we get the buggy, and now we move on to Gongaga for an optional boss. And here we are outside Gongaga. So it doesn't matter what party you use, it really doesn't. The main thing here is, it also doesn't matter what accessories you have. Have to go machine gun for Barrett. Have your best weapons for everyone. So what you want to do is... Elemental Fire is a good thing to have on armor, because Rude likes to use fire a lot. Rude also uses Cure on Reno if he's low on HP. He will also use a Soldier Hackle. And he will also use Grand Spark. Now, he will never attack Tifa if there's anyone else alive. He will only attack Tifa if she is alone. Oh, never mind. He just used Grand Spark in this fight. When he uses Soldier Hackle on Tifa, he only uses Soldier Hack on her. And he has a great chance of not hacking at all. Reno will do a regular hack and Herc light. And that's really it. So, if you defeat one of them, you will not get the reward for the other one if you do not defeat him in the following turn. So you want to try to defeat them both. They both have 2,000 HP. If you defeat Reno, you will get the Fairy Hail, which is the better reward. Rude drops an X Potion. If you want to deal with that the best way possible, get Aqualung or the Harpy in the desert outside of Corel Prison. You can also go back to the swamp of the Eastern Continent and get Bea. This is also your chance to go around to get, Max or Magic. Frog Song, L4 Suicide, White Wind, Flamethrower, and, Choker Buckle for your other enemy skill if you want. So, you can poison both of them. I wouldn't bother with that, but you can do that. You know what? You're just gonna go in the back row. I don't even know why you're in the party, Kate Sif. So, the main idea here is we're gonna be using Aqualung. If you have right arms, you can do a couple Aqualungs against for a right arm, and that should be enough to end the fight, really. Alright, so, Cloud and Barret are going to be doing the Aqualunging. Aqualung. Aqualung. And right arm. So there's about half their HP right there. You might even get away with one Aqualung and one right arm. Here we go. It's a very easy fight. If you have right arms, just grow 2 right arms, you win. If you have 1 right arm, just grow right arm and an Aqualung. And you should be able to just finish the fight in 2 acts. 13 EXP, 130 AP, 3500 kill, and you get the Fairy Hail and the X Potion for defeating both of them. Very easy, nothing hard. You'll even need a heal in that fight. At all. Now let's go to our next mandatory boss, who is the easiest boss in the game. You all know him, it's Nattak from the Cosmo Canyon. And here we are at the Cave of the Key. So, this is our party. It doesn't really matter who you bring as a third party member. You can one-shot the boss by throwing an X Potion or an Elixir. If you try to use Phoenix Down Life, it has a 25% chance of hitting, so just use an X Potion. You get one here inside the cave. Now with that said, the boss comes with 2 Soul Fires. The Soul Fires will only use Fire 2 on themselves. If they're possessing a character, they will use Fire 2 on that character. You can defeat these Soul Fires for additional rewards. I wouldn't even bother with that. So Nattak has 5,500 HP. He's immune to Earth, Poison, and Gravity, and Water for some reason. He's weak to Holy, but you don't have a way of dealing Holy damage. He is weak to Healing, so you can use Cure 2 on him as well. And apparently in the original Japanese version, he's not immune to Sleep or Poison. He will either make a Soulfire take control of one of your characters, or, you know, go inside one of them. He will use Drain to drain HP. He will use Astral to drain MP. He will use a physical attack, and if you have Barrier on, he will use the Barrier. Now, fun fact, he is not immune to some statuses, and you will see this here in just a second. So, we're not going to do the cheese method, because there's no reason to do the cheese method. Everyone does the cheese method. We're going to find legit, so if you're going to find legit, I would recommend putting on the fire rank on a character. If you have elemental on, I would recommend putting elemental fire on an armor. The last character's just gonna have to, you know, hate it. No ifs, ands, buts, they're just gonna have to hate it. If you got the active effect materia, which you should, I ignored it here, just get here faster. Try putting active effect time on someone's weapon. You might get slow or stop. 20% chance. So with that said, let's humiliate the boss a little bit, eh? Whoa. Oh yeah, I ran out of MP. We're gonna humiliate the boss. We're not gonna one-hit kill him. So we have an enemy skill called White Wind. Normally, White Wind is good for us and bad for the enemy. Or good for us for healing us, bad for us for healing the enemies. We're gonna use White Wind on the boss. Because, you know, he's vulnerable to healing. So let's heal him. Here's a White Wind. And as you see, it inflicted blind on him. Best way to do damage, if you want to do damage. Have a White Wind. Oh, it also inflicted slow on him. Great. So, if you have high enough HP, which, if you got some HP pluses, you're going to be doing a crap ton of damage. Cure 2 also does a lot of damage. So, even if you don't one-hit kill him, you can White Wind him, you can Cure 2 him, you can throw high potions at him. He's not a very difficult boss. Boop. It does not matter what the Soulfires do. They can do whatever. A single White Wind is enough to debilitate him. So, if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of MP on White Wind, just switch over to Cure 2 if you have it, or just throw high potions at him. And there you go. So, you can beat him real quick with Cure 2. You don't really need X potions if you don't want to use X potions. 4 hidden trick EXP, 150 AP, 3,000 gil, and you'll get a wiser staff. So, again, just throw an X potion out, or an elixir. Just use an X potion, don't use an elixir, and you'll instantly win. On to the next boss, which is completely optional. And it is Lost Number at Nibelheim. Oh yes. And now we are here at the Sinra headquarters. So our next boss is completely optional. We never have to fight him. So this is Lost Number. He has 7,000 HP. At the start of the fight, he will either use a regular physical attack or Bolt 2. Depending on what you do, if you hit him with a physical attack and it reduces him below 3,500 HP, he will go into his physical form, which is highly resistant to magic, I believe. No, it's highly resistant to physical damage. so you need to use magic on it. You will only use a regular attack and Lost Blow. Lost Blow does a lot of damage to a single target. If you use a magic attack and reduce him below 3500 HP, he becomes magic-based, where his magic defense is stupidly high. He will also only use Astral, Drain MP, Bolt 2, Bio 2, and Quake 2. Now, there are a few seize methods for this fight. Much like with Dyne and Bottomswell, you can poison him and just sit there and let poison finish him off. You can also inflict stop on him and slow, so this is the party I have. I have Kate Sif with a weapon that has Link Materia in the armor. I have Barrett with the Bolt Ring and negate lightning damage. You can get this from the Sleeping Man near Fort Condor. You need a buggy. You hawk the Sleeping Man when your battle digits are in even. They're the same even number, so 0, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Cloud is going to use Elemental Lightning to have elemental damage. The rest of the materia doesn't really matter as much. Time and added effect are going to be on the Link Materia for a weapon. 20% chance of inflicting slow and or stop, I believe. Let me go check. Yeah, slow or stop, or both. So that's a good weapon to have, good combination to have. If you were in Gongaga and you stole it, you can still get Spiral Web, which will inflict slow on all enemies. So we will be using this. So the code here is right 36, left 10, right 59, right 97, and there we go. Again, you can poison him at the start and just let the poison kill him. We're not going to do that, so we're going to act. I am going to throw a Spiral Web at him. And I'm going to throw my right arm at him. So, Spiral Web is going to be helpful here. We're also going to use Big Guard to throw haste on us. Do you have bio? You have bio. We'll throw bio with you. There we go. We got poison, great. And I'm just gonna regular attack him because the magic form's not as scary. Thank you for attacking Barrett. Ow. He may double attack with a regular attack, but I mean, you know, it's whatever. And now he changes in magic form. Ah! Oh, if you hit him with a... No, that's his, that's not the magic form, that's the physical form. Ouch. My bad. If you have Beta or Aqualung, this is the best place to use it. Ow. Ow. That physical act does hurt. He's not immune to any element, so... That was Bea. I'm gonna wait a second. And here we go! Lost Milker's not that bad. He's not that bad. If you come in here prepared, it's very easy. Just make sure to steal a Spiral Web from the Chimeric Book at Gongaga. They are a little annoying to fight, but Spiral Web is the best offensive item in the game. Nothing's really immune to slow. So you slow Lost Milker, you give yourself haste. If you really want to use the ATB, put it on white mode. And then if you want to seize him without him changing form, throw bio at him, get poison, and just defend. have bolt range on one character, or get multiple bolt range if you can. I don't know if you can. Have elemental lightning on another character, and just let him die. Very easy. 2,000 EXP, AEP, 2,000 gil, and Cosmo Memory. On top of that, you will also get the key to the basement to get Vincent and the Ogre Materia. And now we go to our next big boss, which is Materia Keeper at Mount Evil. This boss can be a bit of a pain in the butt, but believe it or not, you can also seize him. So let's jump to him. And here is the Materia Keeper. So, setup time. You may notice that we have Hifa here. We'll go over that in a second. Hifa is by far one of the best characters of the game for a very good reason, which we, again, will go over. So, Materia Keeper has 8,400 HP. He absorbs fire, so don't bring Vincent with his default limit break. That's a very bad idea. He will use a regular act, Big Horn, Hell Combo, and Shrine. Shrine is a very limited enemy skill. I would highly recommend to get that from this fight if you can. When he's below half HP, he will start using Cure to restore 1,000 HP. You can poison him. He's not immune to poison for whatever reason. A lot of bosses are not immune to poison. You can also inflict slow and stop on him, if you so desire. And paralysis also works. So, he hits pretty hard, all things considered. Now, to deal with the Shrine, we're going to be using the Bolt Ring on Hifa. Hifa also gets the Power Soul, which is from here. As you can see, it gives her a damage boost. It quadruples, I think it's doubles or quadruples her damage when she's in yellow HP. It also quadruples when she has Death Sentence, and they stack, so she can do insane amount of damage. Here's the enemy launcher. You get this from the Simra Manson. And the Rune Blade is from Mount Evil. The gold armlet you can also steal from dragons. So if you want gold armlets on everyone, this is a very good place to get it. Now with that said, limits do not matter here, especially for Hifa, it does not matter. I would go with Sadness. If you want to keep her alive longer, I would actually suggest taking, a Materia, giving her the long range Materia, and keeping her at the back row. So it would look more like this. Now, you can poison him and let poison kill him, and Cure him will never activate if you never hit him. You do want to get Shrine though, so I'm not going to worry about Shrine in this fight. I'm just going to show you the fastest way of dealing with the boss. So what we're going to do is immediately throw, well, there's Shrine right there. We're going to immediately throw Death Sentence on Hifa. Death Sentence will make her even more powerful. Death Blow has a chance of doing double damage as well. So there's 968 damage. We're gonna try to get Hifa low on life if we can. You want to play on wait mode if you're gonna do this strat. Thanks, Barrett. But as you can see, it does a crap ton of damage. So here's a grenade bomb for extra damage. That did not work out. So we're not going to worry about, we're going to let Hifa die. That's fine. Goodbye, Hifa. You can also put added effect, Destruct in your armor. I don't know if that's blocks of death sentence, though. So we're gonna revive Eva, and then we're gonna, you know, give her death sentence again. Now she's in yellow HP. And now let's see if we can get the death blow off. 19,000 damage. A lot of damage right there. So now he's below half HP. I did not want to use White Wind. I messed up there. So we're not going to get big damage anymore from Eva, but you know. I wanted to do Aqua Lung with him. Aqua Lung! Again, do not use a fire on him. So you don't have to really use Death Blow. You can use a regular attack, it'll do half damage. But I mean, when you get her that low on HP, and with Death Sentence, I mean, regular attacks work just as well. I think Eva's gonna die again. So yeah, if you're gonna use the strat, just play on wait mode. Otherwise, Eva's just gonna die constantly. Otherwise, she's just gonna die 24/7. So I'm gonna use a regular attack with Eva now. Assuming, you know... Oh. Ouch. So you do about 1,000 damage. If you want to do guaranteed damage, don't worry about Death Blow. That's if you want to try to do double. It's still not a very difficult fight. Again, if you're going to be doing a strat with Eva, play on wait mode. It will save you a lot of problems. 3,000 EXP, 2,400 gil, and the gem ring, and you also get the counter-attack materia. So, Materia Keeper, not super difficult. Again, you can poison him and skip the whole, cure 2 counters. It's not really necessary if you're using Eva. Now, with that said, we're going to get to the next boss, who is also going to be hilariously easy. So, on to Rocket Hound fight Palmer. Alright, we're here at Rocket Hound. So, we're right before Palmer. We're going to be using the same strategy here with, you know, everyone, because there's no reason not to. I'm also going to make sure that the speed is on white. So, strategy is, just beat Palmer up. He uses Fire 2, Ice 2, Bolt 2 effectively. You can make him run out of MP, but ultimately, just beat him up. He only has 6,000 HP. Don't bother with Gravity on him. You can inflict him with Stop Poison, and Paralysis. So he's not very difficult in all... really, he's not difficult. Just go with whatever you want. We're gonna go with the Eva method. Which is, you know... So that's how much Eva's gonna do with that, 139. Now we're gonna see how much Eva does with this. So, 139, right? Now 528. Which is pretty good. I am going to make you be lower on HP, if I can. Right, Barrett's gonna be a jerk. Wow, nice damage, Barrett. But ultimately, just beat him up. You don't really have to do this strat. You can just, you know, hit him. Eva just does whatever she wants. Pretty sure I gave her the long range materia. 999. It'll take about, like, 6 Aqua Lungs to finish the fight. Ow. This is also why I don't like using Death Blow, because Death Blow misses so much. But speedrunners will know how to manipulate Deathloaf better than I do. You just beat him up, Aquamonk. Aquamonk and Maya will deal with him very quickly. With Sadness, it doesn't even do that much damage. Oh wow, I actually killed him with a counter. And there we go! Again, you can inflict slow, stop, poison, and paralysis on him. There's a lot of things you can do for him. He's not very difficult. He can only target one character at a time. And that makes me wonder, how did he survive that? And where did that truck come from? We were in a backyard. A closed-off backyard, in fact. 1800 EXP, 98 AP, 5,000 skill, and the end code. And with that, we can go fight an optional boss, which can be very difficult depending on when you decide to tackle him. Alright, we're here at Wuhai. This is a later save file, as you can see. If you come here early, this can be a pretty difficult fight. Raps has 6,000 HP. He uses a regular physical attack, Scorpion's Tail, which does pretty good physical damage and poison, and Arrow 3, which does about 1,500 damage. So, you don't have much materia when you normally come here. So, you're basically duking it out with this guy with no materia, for the most part. I have materia because I came here much later. Not a whole lot, but I'm gonna act like I don't have any materia. Just make it more, you know, somewhat even. Now, you may notice I have Spiderweb, but I have ES Bomb. ES Bomb you can get from the flat-feet enemies around North Corel. They're the flying little guys that use Flying Sickle. I would highly recommend getting some of these for this boss, because he's not immune to gravity. And you will be able to choke off a good chunk of HP off a 4-3S bomb, or PS bomb. 3,000 on one, 1,500 on the second, 750 on the third, and 375, I believe, on the last. You might not even need it on the last one. So, I would highly recommend just chucking PS bombs immediately. Throw a spider web if you really need it. There's the arrow 3. That's gonna really hurt. Even with Sadness, it does a lot of damage. And after you throw 4 of them, and if you have a limit break ready, you can just limit break them. So, he is not immune to any elements. You can inflict slow, you can do stop, you can do the normal stuff. Slow, stop, okay, it's just slow and stop. And just like that, Raps is defeated. Even with it without materia, you can defeat him very quickly. You just gotta watch out for arrow 3. Revive anyone defeated by arrow 3 quickly. Keep sucking ES bombs, at least 4 of them, and then try to finish with a limit break if you can. And that will deal with Raps very quickly. 3,200 EXP, 33 AP, and 20,000 gil, and the Peace Ring. If you don't do this before you finish Midgar on Disc 2, you will miss out on fighting this guy. So, there you go. That's Raps in a nutshell. Very easy fight if you have PS bombs. Otherwise, a very tough fight. On to the next mandatory boss, which is going to be in the Temple of the Ancient. And another relatively easy boss for the most part. And here we are at the Temple of the Ancients, right before the Red Dragon. So, we know it's a Red Dragon, so it's going to be Fire Element. So, one character is going to have Fire Rain, to nullify the fire damage. The other two will have Elemental Fire, in their armor, half the damage, or maybe even nullify fire that way. Otherwise, the rest of the materia doesn't really matter. Do not use fire attack on the boss, because it will absorb fire. You can poison the boss, and I believe you can also stop the boss. And now, we get to the boss. So, he uses a fire breath attack, he uses a single target physical attack, and he uses a single target hail attack. He only has 6,800 gauge speed, so we're gonna chuck a right arm at him. That'll do a good chunk of damage. If you have right arms, it's gonna absolutely destroy him. He's not weak to ice, believe it or not. Hilariously enough. But with the right protection, by using the fire elemental and the fire rain, he's not gonna do a whole lot to you. Again, if you also don't have any spiral webs, and if you don't have the slow spell, just use active effect with time in the weapon, and it'll give you a 20% chance of inflicting slow or stop. Overall, very easy fight. Magic is very disgustingly OP in this game. It's very disgusting in terms of power. It usually is Final Fantasy games for some reason, I don't know why. And this should be the finishing blow? Wow, still alive, huh? Thank you, Barrett. And here we go! Not a hard boss at all. If you don't have Sadness, if you're not in the back row, and if you don't have Elemental Protection, he can hit upwards to 700 to 1,000 damage. So he can hit pretty hard if you're not prepared. 3,500 EXP, 200 AP, 1,000 kill, and the Dragon Armlet. And now we get to the next boss, who is the first of two very notorious bosses for being a complete and absolute jerk. And here is Demon's Gate. I don't know why the screen does. So, again, make sure you're under Sadness, go to the back row. Demon's Gate hurts. A lot. If you have right arms, hopefully you have a bunch of right arms. Roughly, I think about 6 right arms is enough to finish the fight. Or 5 if you're a Breaker Bahamut. So, Demon's Gate has 10,000 HP. Very high attack, very high magic defense, high defense, and very high speed. He's a pretty mean boss. He will do either Falling Rocks, which can hit which he can do twice in a row and hit one person. It does a lot of physical damage. He can use Cave-In, which does ice damage at all party members, and Petrify, which does low numb one character. And when he gets between 25 or 75, 5,000, 2,500 HP, he will move up a little bit and then do Demon Rush, which does a lot of physical damage to the party. So, again, Sadness and in the back row will help with the with mitigating damage. Elemental and Ice is a good idea to have in armor. Have similar with Bahamut. Bahamut ignores do I not have another Ice? Ignores Max defense. I don't have another Ice. Whatever. So, you want to be careful with this fight. I don't have Tifa. Tifa would be very good here, but Tifa's also a big gamble. So, what we're gonna do is... Oh, he's already starting with that. Okay. Let's throw a spider web at him. I'm gonna focus right arm at him. Don't bother using magic. Magic won't do anything to this guy. You can poison him, but because he's immune to poison, the poison element, the poison status does absolutely nothing. So even with Sadness, that does a lot of damage, as you saw. That does a crap ton of damage. So we took off 1500 HP by using a right arm. Again, he has 10,000 HP, so this might put him at the next Demon Rush. I'm surprised he started with a Demon Rush. You only get one use of Bahamut right now, so be sure to throw it at him. That'll chunk about 20% of his HP. About 20% right there. Here he goes again. Why am I using magic on you? I just said don't use magic on him, Xeno. Also, I should probably throw Big Guard up. That would be a good idea. So I'm just demonstrating how the magic damage is. He has 450 magic, so it's kind of asinine. As you can see, it does like next to nothing. Hiva with Power Soul is a very good character to use here. Ouch. Limit Break's also very good. And here's the double Falling Rock. Without Barrier, that would have been about 800 damage. And that's with Sadness. In a solo character run, this fight sucks. This fight absolutely sucks. Even with Sadness, that is so much damage, dude. And we're getting almost 2 turns into his 1. Because he's slow and we're fast. Haste never wears off, neither does slow, so... You can get like almost a full turn, like almost a full 2 turns in. There's that. Ouch. If you leveled up Aerith enough, if you got Fury Brand, that would be a good limit break this fight. Just so you can fill up everyone's limit break and just go to town on the boss. Why did I do that? I just wasted that for no reason. If you have great gospel, that would be very good to have for this fight, but obviously, you know, you're probably not gonna have great gospel. Cloud's doing about like 1%. Let's see, 10%, about, yeah, like about 1% or 5%. Wow, you countered. Good job, Cloud. If you have really high limit break, like Meteor Rain will clear this really, really fast. So, if you're not prepared, this fight's gonna be the hardest fight of the game. Hands down, one of the hardest fights. There's another boss who is equally just as bad, and we will get to him when we get him. He's much later in the game, but he's also just as bad, if not worse. 3,800 EXP, 220 AP, 4,000 gil, and the guy gets armlet. on to the final boss of Disc 1, which is going to be Jenova LIFE. And we are going to seize Jenova LIFE like you wouldn't believe. So, Jenova BIRTH. If you took the time to explore before you came in here, you should be able to get the water ring, which will completely negate anything she does to that character. Also, a single magic hammer should completely ruin her. Should, anyways. I could be wrong. Unless the MP is incorrect. Otherwise, you just sit here and just let people, you know, get beaten up. She does have Aqua Lung if you want to learn Aqua Lung. Don't bother with magic because Jenova has high magic defense. She only has 4,000 HP, so you can very easily just blow through her HP real quick. I am gonna speed this up just to get this through a little bit faster. So Bahamut takes about half of her HP right there. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong person. I was looking at Jenova BIRTH. This is Jenova LIFE. I'm a dummy. So again, all of her acts, they are on Water Elemental. She has 10,000 HP, 300 MP. So you can just drain all of her MP by doing absolutely nothing. Bahamut takes off like a fifth of her HP. And again, she can use Aqua Lung, which will be very nice to very nice to I'm gonna throw a cure at you. I think that's blue light. I think cure never reflect never wears off until it reflects 4 spells. Which I mean, meh. She can't really win as long as you have a water ring. It's impossible for her to win. I'm actually surprised she's not using Aqua Lung. Normally she's gung-ho about doing that. Eat high. She does have 290 magic defense, so I wouldn't worry about using magic axe. Here we go. And we are done with Jenova LIFE. Not BIRTH, LIFE. 4,000 EXP, 350 AP, 1,500 gil, and a Wizard Bracelet. And that is the final boss of Disc 1. Now, Aqua Lung can result in a party wipe very easily if you don't have enough HP. It does about 1,200 and 1,500 damage. So without the water ring, Jenova LIFE could be a bit of a problem. Just a little bit of a problem. Just a little bit. And with that, we move on to the next boss, which is going to be at Great Glacier. We're not including Snow at Great Glacier. I mean, guys, clip from the next boss. Snow at Great Glacier is just a regular enemy you can find, so there's nothing to include there. You just fight her like all our regular enemies. And with that, we move on to Gaia's Cliff. And we are going to seize the crap out of this next boss. And here we are at Great Glacier. So I'm going to be switching in Ava, because at this point, you should have added cut. If you found added cut, it'd be Great Glacier, paired with Death Blow, and this will make her a lot better. So even if you miss Death Blow, she will still do a crap ton of damage. I also recommend putting the Dragon Armlet into Fire Ring. Dragon Armlet will have all fire, ice, and lightning damage. Elemental Ice will also have more, so that'll keep her alive. I also gave her Luck Plus for some luck. Some of these for stat boost. Counterattack, so if she does take any damage, she's gonna just pop them in the face. And enemy skill. And of course long range, so it doesn't really matter what the other people have. I'm gonna put a bolt ring. Wow, you don't need that. You already have bolt armlet, why you need that? So, bolt armlet is for the final attack. You want fire and ice, resist in this, fight. Also, if you have Magic Hammer is a very good enemy skill to use here. Now, unfortunately, I didn't go back to get Magic Hammer for the third enemy skill, but it is what it is. So, I'm not worried about being at the front row. Front row is whatever. So let's go ahead and go fight Schizo. So you can steal a protect ring for the left head. So Schizo has 18,000 HP per head and 350 MP. So we're going to drain the MP. This is the cheese method, by the way, draining MP. So we're gonna drain the MP. 4 Magic Hammers is enough to completely ruin it. It's the right head that has the protect ring. So as you can see, it hits pretty hard with its attacks. And it can't do an AoE attack as well. That will take care of that head for the most part. And now we're gonna work on the other head. And when you hit, I think 5 times, it will counter with an AoE Earth attack. I mean, that's not gonna do much damage right now, but you know. There's the Earth attack, which I do not have protection against. Gonna steal your MP. I'm gonna steal the rest of your MP, so that makes you, nullify. And we will steal your MP. So, the right head no longer has MP, so it can't do anything anymore. It can only use the Earth attack. Oh, I don't care of it. The Earth attack and the Lightning attack, which costs 0 MP. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Death Sentence on her. 2,000 damage, that's great. We have Bahamut, so we're gonna use Bahamut. We're gonna try during low HP so that we can do real big damage. I should put it on weight, but I forgot to. There's 3,000 damage. Miss, that's sad. I mean, it's still 1,000 damage. And it's not like it can do anything to hurt us anyways anymore. Now he has him yellow HP, which is gonna be, what? Oh. It's still gonna be like 2,000 damage, which, that's really good for a regular attack. 4,400? And that's got head dead. Hifa's dead, that's fine. We're just gonna, give Hifa everything back again. And we're just gonna let Hifa, you know, handle this head. And that's your cheese method. Otherwise, fire ice, resist on everyone if you can. Lightning is good for the final attack. I think Barret heal for that. And some Earth Resist might help as well. If you can, go ahead and get Magic Hammer on your third enemy skill, so that you can use all three characters to get rid of MP very quickly. And there you go. This should tell you just how broken Tifa is. Tifa will die, but that's fine. Tifa don't need much levels anyways. 400 EXP, 240 AP, 3,000 kill, and one of the only dragon things in the game. And with that, we're gonna move on to the next boss, who we're also gonna super seize. Are you ready? It's gonna be Jenova DEATH. Alright, and here we are with Jenova DEATH. So, the main takeaway here, and this is all you need to do, put fire rank on someone, a fire armlet on there, and a level 2 elemental with fire on the third person. And you win! There's nothing Jenova DEATH can do about it, because all of Jenova DEATH's attacks are fire elemental. So Jenova DEATH is, I'm not even gonna worry about talking about Jenova DEATH's stats. She uses red light, tropic wind, she also uses silence every 4 turns. In a solo character run, silence is a killer in a no items run. She only has 800 MP, so you can spend 3 turns, or if you have Magic Hammer on everyone, 3 turns to Magic Hammer all of her MP away. We don't have to worry about that, but you know what? I'll show you what happens when you do that. So, get some MP. It's not like she can hurt us. She keeps going after Tifa. She really doesn't like Tifa. And she can act 3 times in a row, which is very aggravating. So Cloud takes no damage because Cloud has, level 2 elemental materia and fire. This is why elemental materia is very, very good. If you're able to get a level 2 early on, it helps a lot for later fights. Kinda wish I had it for Schizo, but alas, you know. So this is a 400 MP stolen, just with Tifa and Cloud alone. So this will be 600. Oh no! You silence Barret. Whatever will Barret do? And this should be 800 MP right here. Oh, there we go. And now what we're going to do is we are going to make Tifa dead. I really should take that materia off of her. I really should take that materia off of Barret. I'm gonna make her low HP. There we go. And now we're gonna do Death Sentence on Tifa. And she should have Death Blow with added cut. 4,000 damage. There's about 7,500 damage right there. So, Tifa on her own is enough to solo most bosses. 5,000. And just like that, the fight's over. So yeah, if you really want to break the game, Tifa's the way of breaking it. So, Jenova DEATH had 25,000 HP. Think about that, 25,000 HP. Tifa was doing about 7,000 damage a death blow plus regular attack. 3 of those is about 21,000, not including her regular attack. It's kinda asinine. So, fire immunity, so a fire armlet plus a fire ring on 2 different characters with a level 2 elemental materia plus fire on the 3rd character. You're invincible. You can't lose the fight. And that is Jenova DEATH. So we're going to move on to the next boss, which is Ultimate Weapon. Or Ultimate Weapon. He's not really much of a boss fight, but I'll show him to you anyways, just in case. Well, actually, all you need to know is he starts with Quake 2, I believe. I got a regular attack, and then ends with Ultimate Beam, and then flies away. So if you have Earth Resist, and if you have an element... Here's another thing. A level 2 elemental materia plus a non-elemental materia in armor will negate damage from Ultimate Beam. So if you want to survive Ultimate Beam, there you go. The biggest thing you want to do in a fight with Ultimate Weapon is steal the Curse Ring. So you have 2 Curse Rings. I'm not even going to bother showing the fight because there's no reason to show that fight with Ultimate Weapon. So we're going to move straight on to Carry Armor, who is our next big wall for most players. I'm sure it is. And so here we are with Carry Armor. So I am using Kiva again. Carry Armor is a big jerk because he has 3 parts to him. The arms can do a regular attack, and they have, I think they have, how much HP do they have? Let me check. I think they both have 10,000 HP. They will either do a regular physical, or they will grab someone. When someone is grabbed, they will not be released until the HP is reduced to 0 or the arm dies. Note, if the last character alive is grabbed, it's game over. So you want to get rid of both arms as quickly as you can. In addition, Carry Armor uses an attack called Lapis Laser that's its only attack. It will do roughly 1,500 base damage to everyone without, protection. It's non-elemental, so there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Except, Carry Armor only has 200 MP, and Lapis Laser requires MP. He has 24,000 HP. So, what we're going to be doing, Tifa is forever going to have the Curse Ring. This makes it so that we don't have to do Death Sentence, and it increases all of her stats. If you really want to make her hit really hard, give her the Gygas Armlet or the Warrior Bangle. These will give her big damage boost. I think Gygas Armlet gives more, so we're going to give her the Gygas Armlet. It does give no materia growth, just a FYI. Everyone have an enemy skill? Yes. So, no materia growth on this, unfortunately. But it does give her a bunch of attacks, so if you're wondering what her attack looks like, it's 150. It's very, very, very high. And if you really want to make her really strong, if you have any power source, give it to her. With that said, let's go ahead and fight Carry Armor. They are weak to lightning, so if you got Magic Breath or Bastilka in Great Glacier, or Trine even, those are very good enemy skills to use. Bolt Freeze also a very good one. You also want to use Neo Bahamut and Bahamut Zero. So, what we're going to do is suffer immediately. And that's how much that does. And he immediately decided to do a double Lapis Laser. That is amazing. Wow! And that's why he's a jerk. He will immediately decide to just double Lapis Laser you. So we're gonna try and mitigate this. I might lose here because even as strong as I am, it's very, very possible that I just lose. There we go, we got rid of that, so there's that taken care of. Yuffie's probably dead. Yuffie is in fact dead. But Tifa should now start doing a lot of damage. And as you saw, 9,000 damage. There's one arm dead. One arm's dead, just from Tifa. Curse Ring with Tifa is asinine. Boom, 9,000. That's another arm dead. So if you want to see how strong Trine is in Magic Breath, here's Trine the Magic Breath in action. He knows it's not math. Here's Magic Breath. Reminder, Terry Armor only has 2400 HP. Aww. If you have this enemy skill, you can also use this if you're low on life. And it will do a crap ton of damage as well. Especially since Terry Armor can no longer use any abilities. Oh, no 9,000. Boom! Can you see how broken Final Fantasy VII is? And there you go! Tifa can one-shot things very, very easily with this setup. 5700 EXP, 425 AP, 4000 gil, and the God's Hand. So God's Hand gives you 255 accuracy, but you don't take advantage of the status stuff, so I still think Power Soul is better. And that's Terry Armor. As you saw, Terry Armor can easily just wipe you if he decides to. I got very lucky that he didn't decide to Lapis Laser again. He is a terrible fight in the solo character run, too. If you don't have Trine or Bolt 2 or Bolt 3 or Magic Breath for whatever reason, you can do Elemental Lightning in your weapon, or if you have Swift Bolts from Wutai, you can use those instead. Terry Armor is the second hardest boss in the game. Or he might even be the hardest boss outside of Emerald and Ruby weapon. And with that, we are done with that. So now, we could go and fight a optional fight, and that is what we are going to do. If you don't do this before Midgar, it's completely missed. And you do want to do this because it's very, very important. Alright, so Subdelnika. We are going to be going with a usable strategy, Curse Ring, Power Soul with Tifa. Make sure to have immunity to confusion because Reno does inflict confusion. If you don't have, for Tifa, you're going to need to use Act Effect Mystify. That will give you immunity to Confuse and Berserk. You only need it for Confuse. Here you're going to be able to get Double Cut, which is what Tifa's going to be using from here on out. We're not going to need Death Blow, even though Death Blow plus Added Cut can do more damage. The reason we're not using Death Blow now is because Double Cut is guaranteed. She's also going to get cover and counter attacks, so she's always going to counter physical attacks. Or try to, anyway, and she'll cover and then counter. Everyone else is whatever. Make sure to have Steel. If you don't want to kill Reno and Rude that fast, do not put counterattack or cover on Tifa. Reno has a Huff Ring to Steel, Rude has a Side Grip. They're both limited items. In addition, Reno will use 2 attacks. He will use a regular physical. I think he uses Electropod 2. I could be wrong. And he uses Neo Herclite. Neo Herclite does no damage, but does confusion. Rude can use Bolt 2 and some other spells, but if he uses anything other than his Soldier Hackle, he will be unable to do anything else for the rest of the fight. With that said, I'm going to put this on wait. And And now let's go and deal with Reno Rude. I'm not gonna worry about stealing. This is only to show how to deal with the fight. So, we are going to heal Bahamut. And now Rude is bugged. He used the fire too. It's a bug that they never fixed. I don't know why it happens. It's the only time where a boss will never attack after it does something. That was a lot of damage. And here's Tifa coming up soon. 2,000, 4,000. So let me go ahead and get Tifa low on HP if I can. 4,000. Tifa's gonna take that hit. And now let's see how much damage she does. Waboom! 4,000, 8,000. Power Soul is busted. Boom, boom. 8,000 casual damage. And we're gonna try to steal the side rig, even though it doesn't really matter. Boom, boom. And boom, boom. Oh, and there we go. You can do this without using Tifa, by the way, but if you want to absolutely boggy bosses, you're gonna use Tifa. Otherwise, again, break immunity to confusion, stick it back row, use things like Aqualung or Beta, and Bahamut, Neo Bahamut, etc., etc. Double Cut is going to be pretty good too, and you will absolutely destroy them. And be sure to steal the side rig and the huff ring from them before you finish them off. And with that, it's time to go fight our next boss, who's going to be Rude. Oh boy. And here we are at Rocket Hound. So, the usual strat Tifa with all the usual stuff. Nothing different there, it's just gonna go with cover. Again, if you want to get a side rig, there's only 3 of the higher game, they're all stolen from Rude. The first one, second kill Nika, this is the second one, or vice versa. Make sure to steal it before you kill Rude. He only has 9,000 HP. He does use a Grand Spark 3 times in a row, and he uses Bolt too. He will have 2 attack squads with him, which are going to be easy enough to deal with. Tifa on her own can deal with them, but we're going to go with Beta. Hit Tifa. Right, he won't hit Tifa normally. Apparently Haze is not protected against darkness. So again, 9,000 HP, so 2 of these plus Tifa's probably gonna kill him, more than likely. I don't have slow, so I can't throw slow on her. Boop, boop. And there we go. And that is Rude down. So now our next big major boss is gonna be Diamond Weapon. Oh boy, a boss that is immune to Tifa's shenanigans. So let's jump on over a Diamond Weapon. And here is Diamond Weapon. So the main thing to think about with Diamond Weapon, he uses a single target physical attack, a single target fire attack, and when you hit with a limit break or a magic or summon, I forget which one, it will start countdown, wherefore you can hit with physical attacks. You cannot damage it with physical attacks until the countdown starts. When the countdown hits 0, he will use Diamond Flash, which is a gravity-based attack, and it will inflict silence at the party. So you may want immunity to silence, but you also want immunity to fire, or absorb fire. It's a very easy fight overall. Whoops. Again, same strat. let's go ahead and fight Diamond Weapon. So Eva can't really do much here until Diamond Weapon actually gets open. And I forgot to change the ATB. So he is weak to lightning. He has fire. So don't use magic breath, just stick to Shrine. He has 30,000 HP, so he does take a little bit high speed. Especially since, you know, Eva can't do her normal shenanigans. But we could wear it down very quickly with the Bahamut's and with Shrine. What do you got? You got Hades. You can use Hades. Eva may die before she gets to do any of her shenanigans. Whatever. Have a Mega Flare. Mega Flare. For maximum damage. So that's about 10,000 damage right there. And it's gonna act probably about 5,000 more. So there's about 15, there's about half life in free summons. Or, you know, well, 12,000. There's the countdown. And Eva's gonna die, which, same. Goodbye, Eva. Let's bring Eva back. And now Eva's gonna do asinine damage. Absolute asin... Never mind. Wow, that damage is bad. Never mind, it just has stupidly high defense. No matter what. So, Eva's not really gonna help in this particular scenario. The only boss outside of Ruby weapon where Eva's not, you know, the end-all be-all. So just stick with Shrine. Vincent with the, Jeff Geiges Limit Break might be a good one for this. So here's Diamond Blast. I very rarely ever see this. So it's interesting to actually see this again. No damage, unfortunately. If you don't beat Diamond Weapon fast enough, he can just end the fight, and that's that. I don't know if Limit Breaks will do anything. Never mind, he's dead. I think this cool Limit Breaks can do damage, if I recall. He does give the most EXP, AP, and money at this point in the game, so you will get a lot of level ups. You will get a lot of Materia levels, more than likely, and a lot of money. And that's Diamond Weapon. The one boss that does not fall victim to Eva's shenanigans. Now on to the finale of Disc 2, which is Midgard. Starting with the Hurts, which can be an optional fight if you get the Woot High side quest first. And here we are at Sector 8, or the underground tunnel, Sector 8. So, usual party, you want to have fire and lightning resist, because Reno and Rude do use lightning and fire. Elena also uses confusion a lot, so have immunity to confusion. Eva's got the standard stuff. You can also get WIM before fighting them. If you get the Woot High side quest, you never have to fight them. Do I not have Bahamut Zero? Where is my... Did I not pick up Bahamut Zero? I did not pick up Bahamut Zero in this file. Good to know. Anyways, let's go see how tough the Hurts are. If you want to skip the Hurts, you can by just walking around this pillar like this. And there you go. Simple little trick if you don't want to fight that hurts at all. But I would highly suggest fighting though, because you get good EXP, AP, and money, and you can skill the Huffring and Sigrid, as well as a second Minerva band. Not the Minerva band is of any value. Minerva band is kinda crap. So, Reno has 25,000 HP. Elena has 30,000. Wow, that's fire elemental? Okay. So, Tifa can just absolutely decimate whoever she wants. As you can see. Now we're gonna Giga Flare. It's gonna chunk off everyone's HP. I think Rude has about 25,000 as well. He might have 22,000. You want to try to kill them all at the same time, otherwise you will not get all of the rewards. Which is a big shame, because this does give you a lot of EXP, AP, and stuff. So I'm trying to spread it out a little bit evenly, if I can. Have a Bahamut. Tifa is, probably gonna ruin this, but whatever. Tifa can ruin it. Oh no. You're doing a fire attack. I get, like, no damage. So much damage. 6,000 damage. So, Earthlight actually does damage this time. Okay. You just gave Cloud a limit break. Why would you do that? You goofy bugger. Do not use Magic Breath because they will absorb the element. Reno absorbs lightning, Rude absorbs ice, I think. And I think Elena absorbs fire, so don't use Magic Breath. Aqua Lung is still the king of damage for enemy skills. And there we go. I think I killed Rude. Because Rude just ate like 10,000 damage there. Or I might have killed two of them. 12,000 gil and an elixir. Nothing to it. Very easy. So now we gotta go fight the Proud Clod. So let's go fight the Proud Clod. But first, we need to go upgrade Tifa even more. And here we are at the Sector 8 area. So, Tifa has an upgrade in the form of Master Fist. So this is just a stronger Power Soul, which adds even more damage if you inflict stasis onto Tifa like slow and stuff, making her insanely strong. We are still going with the same strategy as before. Proud Clod is not weak at anything. He has 60,000 HP. Fire and Ice Resist is a good idea. Just help deal with the elemental damage. Otherwise, just blast him. He has a fire attack and an ice attack. Regular physical attack, he can attack twice at the same turn. He might do a machine gun, and he might use Materia Keeper, which puts Reflect on one party member. In addition, he may fall down on his knees and charge up for a beam cannon, which is not even really that big of a problem. Tifa is gonna solo this. If you have Bahamut Zero with Quadra Magic is gonna make very, very quick work. It's gonna chop off at least 12,000 HP, if not more, depending on your magic stat. And now we've got the Proud Clod. And here is Tifa, just look at that damage. Sid is going to use a spider web on all of us. We're also going to use a spider web on you. And we're going to throw, what else do we want to throw on Tifa? Can we throw anything else on Tifa? I'm gonna throw a ES bomb at Tifa. We're gonna make you slow. Gonna hurt you a little bit, Tifa. Sorry. 3400, very good. Where is my ES bomb? Throw that at you. And now, watch the damage fly. 4,000 damage per hit. If I have... Oh, better be careful, Tifa. Don't want you to die on me. So, Tifa Recover is a very, very scary strategy because she can easily just die. So she might die here, but that's fine. The slow on her is making her do a crap ton of damage. Slow on everyone. Slow for all. If you have the slow spell, use that on Tifa instead of the spiral web. Boop. Do some damage to you with that. You can't destroy the armor, which does prevent some hacks from happening. Ouch. Ouch. I am going to use a high potion so Tifa doesn't die from a regular attack. Or, you know, I'm just going to have Tifa just do her thing. Heal you a little bit. Never mind. Ouch. I want to heal you, but... Okay, you can keep attacking him. I don't care. I think Proud Clog's actually... Yeah, Proud Clog, I think, is immune to, Or did I throw Spiral Web out? He might be immune to, slow. Oh no, reflect on Cloud. And here we go. Tifa with the Master Fist, still the best damage dealer in the game. You can get the Master Fist in the south at the Syndra headquarters. Just go past the Sector 7 or 8 ladder. Until you get a Sector 0. And then go back up to the south and get the Master Fist. You also want to get HP South and all of that up there. So that is the Proud Clog. Next we have Hojo. And we're going to bully Hojo. Very, very hard. And here we are at the end of Midgar. Same strategy. You can pick up the Mistile. I would give it Tifa so that she would avoid damage. I don't know why she has that. She should have the Master Fist. Put Ribbon on everyone because Hojo likes to inflict statuses. Or Tifa add effect Hades. Or whatever you want on here. She's gonna stick with the usual stuff. Bahamut, Neo Bahamut, Bahamut Zero, etc, etc. And let's just jump on into the fight. So, Hojo, phase 1, he will just summon 2 dudes with Capsule. He will do nothing else otherwise. The Barat sample and the Pugler sample pretty much act like they do in the Subgelnica. Just focus on Hojo. He revives them every time they die. Which will not take very long to defeat Hojo. I will tell you that. Save your summons for phase 2. Save them for phase 2. Base who he will be using a bunch of Skaz ailments, and he will have 3 targets. You only want to focus on the main body of Heli Hojo. No reason to hack any other parts of Hojo. And in phase 3, he will do a lot of physical combos on top of inflicting statuses. If you have Magic Breath or Aqua Lung, just use those for this phase. And just like that, Hojo's done. Heli Hojo has about, I think, 25-30,000 HP, so he's gonna go down real quick. This is where you want to use your summons, if you really wanted to. Again, just focus on the main body. Don't worry about the rest of them. Eva is gonna be more than enough to deal with this. If you want to use just Eva. And that's why cover and misguile is really good. Ow! That actually hurt a lot. That was a good critical. But I got a critical. And then part 3 can also use Sleep Hell and Silence. He will counter magic attacks with Silence. Overall, not very hard fight compared to, say, I don't know, Demon's Gate and Carry Armor. You can easily defeat this without any problem. Even more so if you break along, Bahamut Zero. Bahamut Zero with Quadra Magic will rip this guy a new one. And there we go. Phase 2 down. And now we're on phase 3. I believe phase 3 also has 30,000 HP. I feel like they didn't account for how strong Hifa was going to be. I don't think the developers thought Hifa was going to be this strong. So, there is Heli Hojo. Or Life Form Hojo N. I don't know what N means, but you know, there's 47 right off the bat. And here, he tries to counter with Silence. It does nothing because we have a ribbon. And now he's gonna counter. And if Hifa covers, she's gonna, you know, counter. Meaning Hifa could just, you know, bully without having to worry about anything. Cover plus counter attack is very, very good. Oh no, Silence! Oh, you inflicted blind on Hifa, you fool! You made Hifa even stronger! Actually, I don't know if blind actually increases the damage of Master Fist. But if he dare attacks anyone, which he will, he's gonna get, yep. Come on, Hifa! 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 Hifa, you can cover anything. Oh no, Silence! Anything but the Silence! And here we go. If you have Comet Who, you can throw Comet Who at him, but like, Hifa's all you need. This is Final Fantasy VII boss guy, featuring Hifa Lockhart, who is the most broken character in the game. Technically, the most broken character in the game is Kate Sith, but we're not gonna talk about Kate Sith. Kate Sith doesn't exist. And all that's left are the final fights, so let's just go and jump in that, shall we? Jenova Synthesis, Bizarro Sephiroth, and Safer Sephiroth. I also want to take a look at something with Bizarro Sephiroth, because there is something I learned that if it is true, it's really dumb. So let's jump into it. And here we are at the final area of the game. So, as you can see, I'm level 62. You can do this at much, much lower levels. I also have ultimate weapon. I have everyone's ultimate weapon. Hifa's sticking with the usual strategy though. The thing is, at this point in the game, Tifa is probably not going to be doing as much damage. Cloud is going to be sticking with the double cut. Actually, you know what? I have a better idea. I know what I'm going to do. Since, we do have ultimate weapon, it does let him do, like, about 4,000 damage per hit. We're gonna make Tifa a little bit stronger here in a second. But for the most part, this is what we're going with. You can't get a Bird Misstyle. I would highly recommend getting a Bird Misstyle if you can. You have to duplicate it in the Northern Crater in order to get it. Everyone should have Ribbon. Tifa has the added effect Hades. She's got added cut Death Blow if I really need it. Otherwise, there's not really a whole lot else to say here. So the first fight is with Jenova Synthesis. She has 60,000 HP. Both the tentacles I think have about 20,000 HP, maybe 10,000. They do revive when you KO them. The right tentacle will use Stop, and the right tentacle uses Bio 2. The left one uses Stop, and Jenova herself will use Absorb, I believe. I think. She also can use Cure Free, which I've never seen her use. She can also slap you, which will inflict Fury and do physical damage, and she will do a countdown where she will use Ultima at the very end of the countdown. If you use Knights Around on Jenova Synthesis, it will add 60,000 HP to Bizarro's, or Sephiroth. So keep that in mind. Again, Tifa's not really gonna be the strongest anymore, but she is still gonna, be able to pull her weight. If you have hero drinks, I would save that for Bizarro Sephiroth. Alright, so your main goal is to take down the main body. This lets Tifa actually do damage, which, is the main thing you want to do is do damage. You can get Pandora's Box from Dragon Zombie. It's a one-time only chance to get. Try to get it on all 4 enemy skill materials. You can also get Shadow Flare from Dragon Zombie, but I would get it from Ultimate Weapon. Put all 4 enemy skill materials on one weapon, or one character, and have that one character to beat Ultimate Weapon at Cosmo Canyon. The reason I'm not showing Ultimate Weapon is there's not much strategy to him. There's not really any strategy. You just beat him up, he runs away, you chase after him until he goes to Cosmo Canyon, and then you just demolish him. There's a glitch happening here. Apparently Pandora's Box can glitch bosses like this. Interesting to see. But you want to end the fight quickly so that Ultima doesn't happen. If she does use Ultima, you are forced to get into a free party scenario when you fight Bizarro Sephiroth, and you kind of don't want that, really. Also, if you have the Death Force enemy skill, you can use it on Tifa, and Death Sentence will not kill her. We're gonna use Shadow Flare for, Shadow Flare is your best single target, non-elemental spell. So if you want to hit hard, use Shadow Flare, and Jenova's dead. Ignore the extra Jenova there. It's duplicated from, it's duplicated. And if you defeat Jenova, you get all the rewards. And now we move on to Bizarro Sephiroth, which has 3 different phases, depending on how you handle, how you handle Jenova, your levels, etc. Depending on how fast you fight her, you might fight just with one party, 2 parties, or 3 parties. If you fight with 3 parties, you need to defeat every part on both sides, including the core, to make the core vulnerable for the main party. If fight for 1 party, you must either beat Jenova Synthesis at 13 or more turns before Ultima was activated. The lowest level party, or character at the party, is level 34 or lower, and the average party level is 53 or lower. For 2 parties, you need to have, you must not qualify for 1 party, and you must either have Yuffie Vincent or both not obtained. The lowest level character at the party is level 44 or lower, or the average party level is 67 or lower. And for the 3-party character, or boss fight with Bizarro, you need both Yuffie Vincent. Jenova got 12 turns or less before Ultima. The lowest level character at the party is 45 or higher, and the average party level is 68 or higher. Bizarro Sephiroth gains 40,000 HP if starts with 40,000 HP, gains 60,000 if Knights of the Round was used on Jenova, plus 5,000 HP for every level 99 or higher character at the party. The head gets 250 HP for each character at level 99, and it has 2,000 HP. The core starts with 10,000 HP, it gets 1,250 HP for every character at level 99, excluding Aerith. And both right and left magic have 4,000 HP, and gets 500 HP for each character at level 99. So, Bizarro Sephiroth is a big old mumble jumble of nonsense. You don't really have to worry about the stats very much. Just go in with 1 party. You can deal with 1 party. Hopefully. If you're dealing with more than 1 party, you are going to have to kill the core on all the other sides in order to get rid of the core, in order to prevent Bizarro energy from happening. So, the magics, left magic I think use Bolt Free and Fire Free, right magic uses Quake Free and Ice Free, I could be mistaken. The head will use Gummy Free, the core will use Bizarro Energy, which heals the body for about 7,000 HP. When the core is dead and the head is alive, or dead, I forget which one, it will use Heartless Angel. So you don't want to have Heartless Angel happen. If it uses Heartless Angel, it will give you 1 or 2 free turns to heal up. So overall, it's not hard to fight, but we're going to see about seizing this fight a little bit. So let me go ahead and do this. Tifa's going to stay there. Yes. Alright. Let's jump up. Oh! I got, 2-party group. Interesting. I haven't had a 2-party group in forever. Interesting. Never had a 2-party group in, like, forever. Huh. Alright, so let's stuck here find this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna Pandora's box. I'm gonna throw Death Force on everyone. I wasn't expecting a 2-party fight. So we're gonna speed this up. I'm throwing Death Force on my main party because we're gonna try something called Roulette. I want to see if Roulette actually works. And we're not gonna bother with the other party. And I think I see a glitch happening. Not really. So, let's go ahead and, hyper jump. Go, Sid! Defeat! Now get, yep, there's a lot of glitching happening over here. Alright, so we're gonna throw Death Force on you. And I'm gonna try Roulette. Let's see if Roulette actually works. If it does, that would be hilarious. It does prevent a Curse from killing Tifa. Is it gonna target his body? Oh, it didn't work. I'm sad. I'm very sad. So apparently that doesn't work. Maybe it only works with Matt's deck. I'm not sure. The head portion's back. I'm not used to the fact that who party battle. That's weird. Okay, you can stop being. Ooh, you're using Stigma. This is weird looking. So Stigma is gonna do non-elemental damage with some statuses, like poison, slow. It's gonna hurt a little bit. Ouch. This might be a problem. This might be a big problem because I can't kill the core. Normally, I would be showing the one-party battle with this, but the game decided to throw curveball at me in this recording. Not what I was expecting at all. At least the head's easy to get rid of. Oh. So, here's the thing. When it comes to enemies with multiple limbs, do not, and I repeat, do not use Quattro Magic Ultima. For example, against Sephiroth here, if you use Quattro Magic Ultima, you are gonna soft lock the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You are gonna soft lock the game. Now, normally this wouldn't even be much of a problem, this fight, because normally I have like 4x cut and Knights of Round and all of that. If you have Knights of Round, you can just use that to end the fight. But when we're trying to do this legit. Quattro Magic, we got legit, quote unquote. We only got legit, you know? Alright, so we did about 20,000 damage there. Not worried about the other team. There's 10,000 there. Yeah, you're gonna heal a good amount of that damage. I hate it. Half of Bahamut Zero is gonna completely devastate you. Stop healing! This is why you killed the core, otherwise it's just gonna heal and be an annoying sack of crap. Man, game, you really have to throw curveball at me, didn't you? You really have to throw curveball. 9999, that's good. Oh, and we killed him. Never mind the extra Sephiroth. I didn't even know that was the pain. So now we go into the final fight, which is Safer Sephiroth, who works on a pattern. So he will start the fight with Wall, and then he will go a Shadow Flare, Havoc Wing, which does single target high damage and paralysis. Then he will fly up, do Pale Horse, Supernova. I don't remember if he does Dyne or not. And then he will do Break, fly down, and then he will switch up to D-Spell, and then repeat the pattern. And when his HP is below 20,000, he will instead do Heartless Angel. So this is where Tifa with Master Fist is going to be really good if you don't have like any good weapons. I mean, you should have good weapons. Because even with that she still does like 12,000. Now who you hit with Shadow Flare? Clod ate that. He missed. So we're gonna throw out some hero drinks. We are gonna do some Bahamut Zero, and we are gonna do this. The goal is to try to finish Sephiroth out off before he does Supernova. He has, like, I believe, 120,000 HP. I think Quadra Magic refreshes between the fights. It does. So we're gonna get some good damage with this. If you didn't have a wall, you could get rid of wall with D-Spell, if you really wanted to, but it's not really going to be that much of a detriment, in all honesty. And if you were playing on HP, the wall would disappear very, very quickly. So, you can also use Knight's Crown to deal with the fight very quickly, too. Now, if you throw 3 hero drinks on Tifa with a Master Fist and Curse Ring, she's just gonna do ridiculous damage. Just, look at that. Like, I don't even care about your barrier. Ow. Alright, so what are we gonna do? We are going to do Shadow Flare. But yeah, you can finish this fight very, very quickly. It's not a very difficult fight. If you were higher levels, this would end very, very quickly. There you go. He does gain stats, depending on your levels, I believe. For every character at level 99, you will get 30,000 HP, 2 attack, 20 defense, 5 max attack, and 16 max defense. If you use Knight's Crown on Jenova Synthesis, it gets 80,000 more attack, or HP. But for every time you kill this head during the previous fight, his HP is reduced by 100, to a maximum of 24,900 HP. So, he also gets infinite MP, so you can just drain this MP all the time. And just like that, we have finished Final Fantasy VII. Nothing to it, right? Now you may be wondering, what about Emerald and Ruby weapon? Well, I'll be doing a separate thing for Emerald and Ruby, because we can do some fun things with Emerald and Ruby. So, with that is all of the bosses, excluding Ultimate Weapon, because we don't really care about Ultimate Weapon. He's not really that difficult. You just employ the same strats that you did against him at Miguel. It's the exact same thing. He'll have a lightning attack that hits one person. He'll probably use Ultimate Beam. And when he dies, he'll use Saddle Flare, and that's only at Cosmic Cannon. And with that is Final Fantasy VII. All the bosses done. Hopefully this guide helps you. And I will catch you all next time on the flip side of coin. Take care, and do let me know if this video helps you, and what you would like to see next for any guides. Until next time.